I didn't start in property because I was brave. I started because I was tired of doing everything right and just feeling like freedom was a million miles away. Hello, I am Wali Rahman. This is a bit of a personal one because a lot of people see the outcome, they see the portfolio, the financial freedom, the confidence, but actually what they don't see is the bit in the middle where you're working a serious job, trying to live your life, and property feels like a massive, complicated world that everyone online makes sound dead easy or just terrifying. And if you're a busy professional, working long hours with family commitments and about 15 tabs open in your brain at any given time, you'll probably relate to this. Because I didn't come from property. I came from highly regulated industries like banking and financial services or corporate leadership, environments where you just don't get to wing it and hope it works out. The background shaped how I approach property later, a risk first and structured approach. So a little bit about my story. When I first started to invest in property, I bought my first house back in 2013 or something like that. And actually, I didn't know what I was doing, right? I was winging it. I was managing it myself. And essentially, I was getting ripped off by builders. Tenants were just doing me head in, calling me at 10 in the evening. It was a real slog, and I was very close to just packing it all in. It was only until at work, I was working at Nationwide Building Society at the time, and a colleague of mine was leaving, and I was like, "Oh, which bank are you moving to?" Because in the southwest of England where I live, banking's very incestual. You just move between the handful of head offices that exist there. And he was like, "No, no, no, I'm retiring." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he was like, "BTL, HMO, BRR, blah, blah, blah." Just went all over my head. But I knew at that point I didn't have the right knowledge and I needed to get educated. And so what I did was I went on a journey to start educating myself, first around my own mindset, and then I started to educate myself on property and trying to do it right. And alongside that, I started to build that portfolio slowly but surely, building and building, building. And actually, I sat down and I put together like a 10-year plan. Like, what does that freedom look like? I wanted to go on holidays. I didn't want to miss any family events, stuff like that. And so that gave me a purpose and a reason to believe. And so once I started to kind of build that portfolio, I could start to see that light, really far at the end of the tunnel. But as I got closer, that light was getting closer and closer and closer. And then probably about, I think it was 7 to 8 years into that kind of property investing journey, I'd obviously moved the goalpost, my financial goalpost, because I was getting promoted. And so I was earning more and more money. So that kind of financial freedom number was changing each time because every time I got promoted, that number, increased. But I did one deal, I remember, and I was like, hang on a second. I can quit my job here. I'm earning the same amount as my net income for my job. So I sacked my boss, as they say, or handed my notice in. And, with that free time, I just wanted to start helping people. And so I started a sourcing business where I essentially started helping people to source properties in the same way I do it. And now I feel like I can help even more people through coaching them. And so that's why I've started coaching people on buy-to-let investment in the same way that I've done it.